January 29th. Holy mackerel, January is almost gone. Happy New Year. Christmas holidays are over. All kinds of religious holidays are over. And Jimmy's still talking. Yeah. I'm talking mostly on YouTube, I must say. I don't know, Facebook. I started off on Facebook Live, and they've just gotten very flaky. And they fade in, they fade out, they're on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 seconds. So I'm asking everybody. I'm sending messages to Facebook saying, go to YouTube. YouTube.com/FAU for you. Or if you go to YouTube, you can just put FAU for you. You can see it up on the top of the screen. Just put that on your in the search box. Here I am. Good morning. It's 68.5 degrees in the studio, and it is 68.0 degrees outside on the balcony. So it's a tie. Yep. Tom Homan just gave 20 minutes ago, a little talking to the nation and to Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul. All the crazies are out there interfering with ICE activities. They're going to get arrested. They're going to get prosecuted. They're going to go to jail. You don't kick. You don't spit, on ICE agents. They are officers of the law. You don't like the law, change the law. Go to Congress. You're rallying, in front of the wrong people. Because the ICE agents don't make law. Tom Holman said he's been enforcing the same law for 40 years. Laws haven't changed. It's just Minnesota has decided to obstruct justice. And they're getting in the way. And they get in the way, they're going to get arrested. Because these guys are, just like police. They're just federal police, if you will, that work on one specific part of the law, and that is, immigration and naturalization services. ICE. You got Border Patrol agents. You have ICE agents. You have Highway Patrol. That's a state function. You got National Guard. They have them in, I guess, every state as a National Guard. They can be brought into play by actions by each state governor. The President of the United States, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer, he can activate a state's National Guard. I'm not a constitutional expert by all means. But interfering, with people that carry badges and have guns and all that, you can get yourself shot. 2 people did get themselves shot. They're wrestling with what the hell kind of, how did you wake up in the morning where you decide I'm going to go get in the face with ICE agents and I'm going to carry my gun loaded with magazine inserted in the gun and 2 spare magazines. What, are you going to conduct your own private, offense against United States, marshals in a sense? And guess what? He got himself shot and killed. There's a theory. If you, and like I say, I'm not going to say this exactly right, but I'm going to give it a shot. Pardon the expression. If you're a law enforcement officer, ICE, Border Patrol, Highway Patrol, your regular officer, that works for your state and local police departments, your gun carrying, your law enforcing. Now, if you have the ability if you think your life is in danger, to the point where you're going to shoot somebody, you shoot 4, 5, 6 times. If your life is threatened, you're going to kill the other person. What are you going to do? Hurt him and then you're going to get shot back? No. You shoot the person dead. And if it's 2, 3, 10 shot, whatever the hell it takes, law enforcement is protected. If they think their life is in danger, they can take many shots, not just one. The other law enforcement officers can also assist Officer A, and shoot the perpetrator. What time is it? Is it 9:45? Got my tongue tied around that perpetrator thing. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, anyway, so that's Tom Homan is in charge of all these ICE agents. He decided to shoot up to Minneapolis, St. Paul area. He got there Monday. This is Thursday. He's met with everybody. A lot of things they agree on with local jurisdictional managers like mayors and their police departments. I don't know if their governor was there. Should have been. You got 2 of his citizens are dead because of these stupid demonstrations. I mean, they're not, this is not demonstrations. This is obstruction of justice. You can't get in their face and prevent them from properly enforcing the law and going after bad guys that are also illegal aliens, by the way. And they broke the law by jumping our border, number one, and they broke the law by committing robberies or murders, traffic violations, all kinds of things. If you're on a if you have a visa, if you have papers and you have a visa, and you don't behave properly in our country, they can cancel your visa, send you home. Yep. You're not guaranteed to be in the United States just because you have a passport. Your passport, you have a visa stamped. And they stamp it right on one of the pages. And they ask you, what are you doing here? Business, pleasure, They check you on, or where would they check you? As an international traveler, as you're coming in lawfully. If you jump the border with a passport, guess what? You get deported because you don't have a visa. Visa, visitor, you get it? It's not complicated. And your own citizens of Minnesota are trying to protect bad guys who rape one of your citizens. Now, what? What are you guys smoking? Yeah? Yeah, I know what it is. Everybody knows what it is. It's an attempt by the left to discredit the right-leaning president, and at any cost, they're going to try to get in President Trump's face. Well, they're making a big mistake because Trump is going to kick back. And you're going to, he'll bring in the military if he's got to. Minnesota is not going to become a sanctuary state where all bad guys can come there and they're insulated from obeying the laws that all the rest of us have to live by. What do they get, special privileges? And us as regular citizens, we don't get that, the privileges that, so I don't want to obey the law in the United States or the state of Florida, so I go to Minnesota and I can violate all the laws. Hell, what the heck? Sanctuary state. Illinois, watch out. You got a lot of bad guys there. They're all hiding out in Illinois because your governor is too stupid to get behind ICE and get rid of some portion of that 10 million illegal people that jumped our border illegally. And, prior administration just let them in. I'm not using any names. This is not a D or an R issue. This is a constitutional issue. You don't like the laws? Carry your signs in front of Capitol Hill. Change the laws. The law enforcement officials don't have the power of changing the law as they see fit. No. Citizens have to obey the law. The police enforce the law. As the chief law enforcement officer of the United States, he has the ability to make sure those laws are obeyed. You don't like it, go somewhere else. Yeah? There's nothing saying you got to be here. You're not going to change it. You're not just going to muscle your way in this country, and all the rest of us have to go, hide out in our houses or apartments because we have to get out of the way of illegal aliens because they get health care for free, they get education for free, and they can push around the citizens of the United States and be sheltered from prosecution. Oh, really? I don't think so. Sooner or later, that kind of activity has to be stopped. If it doesn't get stopped, then we don't have a country anymore. There'll be, like a civil war. I don't know. That's what civil wars are born by. You got people that don't like the laws and people that do like the laws. The North versus the South, the East versus the West. We haven't had one, in 150 years. Maybe who knows? Maybe it's time for another civil war. I don't think so. You just have 0.5% that's trying to push around the other 99.5%. And Trump isn't going to let that happen. Okay, enough of my monologue. Yeah, what the heck? I'm over 80. I'm entitled. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right, you better watch out. Here's a picture of yours truly. And when was this taken? Wednesday, yesterday, at 2:24 p.m. And what am I shooting? I'm shooting my Model 45 9mm semi-automatic weapon with an optical sight. Look at that. And an approved silencer. I have a suppressor. And it is, look at that, we shot out the middle of that target. Yeah, you gotta shoot at something, right? We had the range to ourselves. You can see our handguns there with the breech open and a couple of empty magazines, a couple of spent shells. Yeah, that's, I got that silencer that suppressor at silencerco.com. Silencerco.com. They helped in the delivery of my application to ATF. You have to have special permission from ATF to own a suppressor. They do background checks again, you know, a background check for a weapon. I mean, the application process for the silencer from start to finish, it took me about 2 months to get the application right. And it took 10 more months for the government to approve it. And we finally got, it was like December to December. It was almost exactly a year to get the stupid approval. I mean, it's not stupid, but really a year. But it's like, it's like getting a security clearance, I guess, to have such a thing. Law enforcement is so nervous about people in the public having weapons as it is, much less weapons that, but it makes for a lot easier. You have to have proper eye gear. I have proper eye gear. You have to have, you see, that's a Glock, headphones to protect your ears when you're shooting indoors or outdoors. The bang, bang, bang. So it eventually damages your eardrums. But I'll tell you what, when you shoot with a suppressor, it is so much more quiet. It's not like quiet like you see in the movies. It's not that quiet. No, it is not that quiet. But it is a lot quieter, because when you hear that bang, 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 from unsuppressed 9mm, and then you're shooting yours with a suppressor on, it not only suppresses the gun flash, because it is, an explosive force that's pushing that projectile through the barrel. So when those gases come out of the end of the handgun, there's a certain amount of engine flash, the explosion from each cartridge with the gunpowder. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. I got the suppressor was delivered. I had to go get it, and it was released to me after the ATF gave their approval. Paid a $200 stamp tax. God, they put a $200 stamp on it. That's another way in which they try to inhibit the public from having such items, because you got to pay an extra $200 fee stamp. It is. They actually glue a stamp on your application. Oh, geez. And guess what? The one big, beautiful, darn bill you can buy on a suppressor now, and there's no $200 stamp. They removed that requirement. It's just another way of getting in your pockets. But it's also there was some legislation at some point. I don't know, it was Obama administration or before, or it was before Biden. So a liberal Congress and a liberal Senate, and apparently a liberal chief law enforcement officer signed off on charging the public $200 stamp tax. It's a tax. It's like an excise tax. It's a tax on a product. And I paid it. And now the tax has been dropped. But I've already paid it. You can't apply, for a refund. No. I could see if you were buying 35 of them, like what are you going to start a war within Boca Raton? Anyway, so there's Jimmy shooting at a properly acquired handguns. There's my Model 45 with the suppressor sitting on it right there. Yeah, that was fun shooting with son Daniel yesterday. It was a spur of the moment item. Daniel's posture is a lot better than mine. In station number 6 there he is. Yeah. Where's that other picture where he was 10 years old or something? Come on. Let's see. We want to see. Oh, you gotta get this. Saved recently. This is it. There you go. That is son Daniel. The last time we went shooting together. Look at this little kid with the headphones. And that's Jimmy. Yours truly. My God. That picture needs some work. And here is son Daniel as a 34-year-old. I guess this other kid was like 10, maybe? Yeah, he's barely gets up to my shoulder height. Got his soccer. Marilyn was there. She took the picture. I'm sure Brennan was there somewhere. But Brennan happened to... Somebody had this picture. You see this was like taped up on like a mirror or something rather, and took it off. It also looks like it has a fold in it. The picture was folded up maybe. Anyway. That's his collection of weapons. My goodness. He's got this shotgun. You go in his house unannounced and you'll pay the price. Speaking of price, well, let's see what's going on. Looks like this is way delayed broadcast. It was like 20 minutes behind. It shows it right up about 10 o'clock. Well, it's at least a 5 or 8 minute delay. Tesla announced their annual earnings, which was a little higher than what was expected, but still terrible compared to the same, last year. And we can see on a percentage basis, Nasdaq is down 1.56%. The Dow Jones is down 0.17, which is nothing. That's this stock market goes up and down and up and down. Apple is down a little tiny bit. A lot of red ink. There's some green. What are these? Telephone company. Gold. The gold index is up. Gold is like $5,000 an ounce. Jeez. I begged everybody buy gold a couple of years ago. You would have made 100% profit on gold. Anybody that did that. Silver was even higher. Silver is used in a lot of screen technologies. Silver is used in solar panel technology. It is used by catalytic converters for ICE engines. Now, ICE engines are not engines by the immigration and naturalization people. An ICE engine, ICE engine, is an internal combustion engine. Same 3 letters, but totally different meaning. You've got electric cars and cars with ICE engines. Yeah, internal combustion engines, they burn gasoline, isooctane, high test, low test. Yep. Anyway, I listened to the participants with Tesla's annual meeting, or a meeting in which it was a meeting promulgated because they published with the SEC their annual results. And they have a meeting of the executive officers and invited guests to discuss their annual results, which I'm not going to go over here with you. Aren't you happy? I'm not prepared to actually do that. But a couple of things of note is, which I'll highlight here. Tesla has decided to discontinue the construction and delivery of Model S, like Sam, and Model X, like Extra. They'll be discontinued. It looks like, if I had to pluck a date, I would say after June 30 of this year. So if you want a Model X or a Model S, you better place your order. Elon Musk said you should order the car now. They're made in Fremont, California, and they're going to be discontinuing the Model S and X, and they're going to be making room for their Optimus humanoid robot, because they're going to be hell-bent for election to build 1 million robots a year out of Fremont, California, and they're going to take up the space that was being used to construct Model S and X cars, and that's going to be Optimus factory lines, factory automated, the machine that makes the machines, as Elon likes to say. So, the Model Y, which we drive, is very similar to the X. It's like a little bit smaller wheelbase, does not have the gull-wing doors, which to me is a total waste of time. But Elon had a bug up his butt to make the car special. He didn't have to make it; it's already special. When the Model X, which the gull-wing doors appears on, it requires an incredible amount of precision because you see all the rubber seals all around there for that door to go in there, and then, it delayed the actual delivery, production of the Model X like six or 8 months because they kept, they couldn't get the door right. It either leak water or leak sound. It would be whistling when you go down the highway. I mean, it's all kinds of considerations when you have such an amazing opening on both sides. You can see even that's the other one. So you have a huge opening of this vehicle. And when you close it back up, it has to seal up really good, or else it's going to make whistling noises, or it's going to leak water, snow, sleet, whatever. But they finally got that done. I have friends that drive the Model X. I like it. It's kind of like a larger version of the Model Y. But the Model Y just has regular rear doors. It doesn't have the gull-wing doors, which makes, if the Model Y had an option to have gull-wing doors, yours truly would not have gull-wing doors. I would go with the standard door. The Model Y doesn't have an option to get gull-wing doors. Only the Model X, and that's not an option. That's take it or leave it. It's too bad they don't have a regular door version. Anyway, they're discontinuing the vehicle, because it's not selling. It lags way behind Model Y or Model 3. And the same with Model S, which is more of like a coupe instead of a SUV. They're making some enhancements to the Model Y because of the discontinuing of the Model X. This is Jimmy guessing, but the Model Y is going to be, there's going to be like a Model YL, like a long version of the Model Y, which will make it a little more convenient, either to have 2 more seats, so you have 3 rows. You got 2, 3, 2. So in a sense, you could have 7 people. Or you can choose not to have the 3rd row seats if you got the Model Y, the long version of the Model Y. I'm guessing they're going to call it the Model YL for long version. It has a longer wheelbase by about 6 inches, I understand. 6 or 7 inches. They haven't been manufactured in the United States, but they will probably be making it available as soon as they shut down the Model X. I can't imagine why they wouldn't. Supposedly in either China or Europe or both, they are offering this long version of the Model Y. I've seen pictures of it. I don't have pictures of it here. You can't really, you can't see, you just take a picture of a car like this. You can't tell whether the wheelbase is 6 inches long or not just by looking at it anyway, without doing some pretty fancy measuring when you got a three-dimensional picture like this. But it is technically longer by 6 inches. The body shell, therefore, is longer by 6 or 8 inches, or maybe even a foot, I don't know. And if you don't want the extra row of seats, then you'll just have a bigger space behind the second row of seats to store things. Go to Home Depot and get a big piece of plywood. And of course, then you could fold back the three seats that are right behind the driver and the driver passenger. So that row can fold down, and then you have a much larger opening from the rear to store things, travel, suitcase, moving from one location to another, whatever. So they're trying to accommodate the elimination of the Model X by expanding slightly different versions of the Model Y. At least that's what they're doing in China and Europe. And that sure would follow over to Fremont and Austin, Texas. Let's see. They are changing the self-driving, the full self-driving feature, so that starting after February 15th, that's a couple of weeks away, you will not be able to pay $8,000 for full self-driving forever. The company has allowed you to move, so if you paid $8,000 for the full self-driving, and then you sell your car and you get a new Tesla, you can move it to the new Tesla from the old Tesla. And that's, for all the models. They found there's no sense in arguing about that. How the hell could you not? You pay $8,000 for a software program, a software ability. It's just a switch. They open up the switch, and then you get that extra piece of software that has the self-driving feature. You don't want to pay $8,000, you don't get the full self-driving feature. Well, a year or 2 or 3 ago, or 4 years ago, they allowed you to pay $200 a month, $199, and then they'd turn on the full self-driving feature for you if you signed up for a monthly subscription. And month by month, you could buy it or not buy it. You can turn it off and turn it on. So if you're going on a road trip, you could turn it on, pay the $200 for the month, and do your trip, and then when you got back from your trip, turn it off. Well, the whole theory behind the full self-driving is that it's safer. It's 2, 3, 4, 8 times safer than you could drive the car, or the average driver. So why wouldn't you want that on all the time? Everywhere I drive, the full, anyway, so before I get on to that, in the wisdom of Elon Musk and the company, senior officials, they decided, let's knock the price down to $100 a month, because there weren't a lot of people apparently taking advantage of that. One thing that came out of the shareholder meeting, the required meeting by the Securities Exchange Commission, when you present to the SEC your financial results. Now, there is no requirement that you have a meeting of the executives where you get Q&A'd by, the investment banking community. That is not a requirement. Companies do that, submit themselves to that because they want to explain, or be proud of, all the results and the hard work that all the employees of this company did over the last year. Whether the results are better or worse, is not necessarily in the hands of the employees, of the executives. Market conditions can affect that, or if your product doesn't have a reliability factor that you think it should, people are going to whine and complain at you, and they're going to let you know at a meeting such as this when you present your financial results to the Security and Exchange Commission, because you have a publicly traded market on your securities. I was CEO of a publicly filing company, and we would present our statistics to the SEC, just like Tesla has. But we would have, because this is a bank holding company, a highly federally regulated bank holding company, with FDIC insurance and all this business, serious business. And as a CEO of a bank holding company, you make a presentation to the board of directors, and you go over all the financial results. They're not televised. They are recorded by the secretary of the corporation. Note taking, that kind of thing. I don't recall whether. I'm trying to think. Do we actually have microphones? And I don't think we have audio recordings of the shareholder. Keep on saying this incorrectly. When the shareholder meeting, it was a presentation by the officers of the corporation, the annual results, as required by the SEC, that you have to do. You have to have, by, like March 15th of every year. So it's actually not required by January 30th. It's you have like 45 days, I believe, after the quarter, and you have like 2.5 months for the annual result. So you have 3 quarterly reports to the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, if you choose to be a publicly filing company, which anybody can go look at your results and be happy with, or bitch or moan or whatever. I mean, we had shareholders, and we had annual results. We had 3 quarterly reports and an annual report. 45 days after the close of each quarter, you have to publish electronically by 4 p.m. 45 days after the close, after January 1, the 3 quarters. And then you had, I believe, until February 15th. No, it was March 15th for your annual results. So you had 3 quarterly results publishing and 1 annual. So it happened 4 times a year. There isn't a 4th quarterly report. That's incorporated into the annual filing with the SEC. So you see the 4th quarter and the annual together in 1 report. Followed by 3 quarterly reports. Jeez, that was unnecessary, but since we're talking about, so I did listen to the Tesla quarterly meeting, and Tesla, and Elon Musk had some a few words to say and basically announced the the expiration of the Model X and Model S, and that we're going to use the space in Fremont, California to construct millions of humanoid robotic, from, the early visuals that I've been able to see online of the development of this robotic humanoid is really striking. When you think you're living in the future now. It's you've read about such things in scientific, sci-fi movies and stuff 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago. They'd be, and Tesla it's actually part of Tesla. The car manufacturer is in a huge way getting in the humanoid robotic business, and they, according to Elon, will be manufacturing and selling to the public a humanoid robot. And it's not going to be big priced. It's going to be under $20,000 or maybe $150 or $200 a month. You can rent it. I told Marilyn I want one. I've already named it Charles. Charles, would you get me a cocktail? Charles, would you mind taking the trash to the trash chute? Charles, would you help me do the dishes? Charles, we're going to bed. Would you mind posting watch and security for our apartment while we are sleeping? Anybody comes in here, bang them on the head. Don't allow anyone in here until we give you our approval. How about that? Charles, how about coming down to the first floor and getting my mail? Let me show you how to get the mail. And then next time you can come down here and get the mail for me. And according to Elon Musk, I can show Charles my robot that I'm going to pay $150 or $200 a month for. I can take him down to the mailroom with my mail key, which said key he can hang around his neck just like I do. I got my keys. It's right here. I got my key. My mailbox key is right here. Yeah. So here, and I have this. Oops, I can't take it off. I'm looking at it behind my pile of stuff here. I got a pair of socks. Is it on the door? Nope, it's not on the door. It's not there. I have it somewhere. I have an extra. Here's a lanyard, you hang around your neck when you go to a convention. So instead of having this stuff on there, you just have a key on the little clip. You got it. But I have another lanyard just like this. It's leather. And that'll be hung around Charles's neck with my mailbox key to mailbox 812 so that he can get my mail for me. And we'll go down together and I'll show him how to do it. and then next time he can try it himself. He will be able to communicate with me because he has a communication device, and he can just dial me up for an audio intervention and say, Mr. James, I can't seem to get in your mailbox. Would you come down here and give me a hand? So then I go down there and I'd help him get the key in the stupid mailbox. I have trouble sticking the key, you know. It's hard. You got to jiggle the key in there to get it in there. So it may take Charles a few times to get it right. So I'll be patient and I'll go down with him and have him get the mail. I'll introduce him to the security guard. I can't wait until this is. It's going to drive everyone else in the building absolutely batty. What the hell is this guy doing now? I'm going to take Charles with me to one of the local restaurants. We'll walk. Yeah. God almighty. The two of us will go to Lemongrass together and have lunch. If no other family members will join me for lunch, I'll have lunch with Charles. And he can sit there and talk to me while I have lunch. Or you can tell me what's going on in the news. I don't know, the Tesla stock is getting hammered this morning. It opened up at $431 a share, and now it's down to $422. So it's down about 9%. Or not 9%, 1.9%. It's down $8. There we go. You can switch it to trillions. The valuation of all the shares outstanding is 1.4 trillion. We don't want to track that. Or you can have it show in percent. It's down 1.87% at 422. This is a delayed broadcast, though, of course. Right now it's down 7.69 a share. It'll go up and down. It's too expensive, you know. Eventually Tesla is going to be making the cars for their robotaxi business. Maybe they'll offer some cars for the buying public to buy. Pretty soon they're not going to care whether you buy the cars, because they're just going to employ them in their robotaxi business. And basically, the state of the software is so sophisticated that it doesn't need anyone in the car to drive the car. In theory, you could with the robotaxi, but just basically my Model Y, every car that they've made since the year 2000, that's 6 years worth of cars, is capable of self-driving. Now, there's a version of the vehicle, the Model Y and the Model 3. Remember, they're discontinuing the S and the X. So the Model Y and the Model 3 vehicles, as of March of 2001, has hardware version 4, which is an enhanced computer and advanced 5 million pixel cameras, 7 5 million pixel cameras, 2 in the front, 2, 4, 2 on each side, and 1 rear facing, right above the license plate in the back of your car. So you got 2 forward, 1 backward, and 2 on each side. 2, 4, 6, and the one in the back is 7. Yeah. There's 2 cameras on the side in 2 different locations. One is up by the front wheel facing back, sideways back. Another camera up on the pillar between the rear window and the front window, side windows, the driver's side, and the seat behind. They each have their own window, right? And on both sides of the car. Well, that pillar, that column that separates the front and rear window on the sides of the car, there's a camera there on both sides, in both columns. So 2 cameras in the columns and 2 cameras on the front fender facing backwards and side, shooting back and side. So that if you were going to change lanes, for example, and there'd be a car in your blind spot, it would show red if you were to attempt to change lanes in that picture. Pretty soon the National Highway Traffic is going to eliminate the need for side view mirrors if you have high quality visuals electronically. And I can tell you that the cameras that show you what's on the side of your car is a whole lot better than the stupid mirror, which you don't need. I mean, it's a duplication of effort. The camera is a whole lot better quality. It's right there in front of you. You don't have to worry about parallax error, and you can see beautifully on each side of your car just by putting your turn signal on. So if you make a left or right hand turn, that picture pops up right in that screen that's in front or to the side of you. So the full self-driving software now is so refined and so ready that it doesn't need a driver, that the software is better than you. As simple as that. Daytime, nighttime, during rain, during snow, it is better capable of driving than you are because of the high capacity computing that's going on with the onboard computer, the 7 cameras, the actuators on the brakes, the actuators on the steering, the angle of the wheels when it's steering, the mapping. It can stay, right between the lines. It can take you to your destination because of the mapping software that's in the computer. It's marvelous. I mean, we went to Disney for 3 days, and we were staying at the Hyatt Grand Cypress Hotel. So as soon as I pulled out of the garage, I pulled over to the side of the road, right in front of our building, right behind our building, I should say. I said, Marilyn, what is the street address of the hotel? She said, she gave me the address. So I used the microphone and I put the address into the navigator. Orlando. It's a 400-mile round trip. It took us right to the front door of the Hyatt Grand Cypress. all the lane entry, the lane exit, on ramps, off ramps from I-95 to get onto the turnpike and whatever. Because you get off of 95 and take the Florida Turnpike up, which goes towards the middle of the state. And then you get off there, and then you make a whole bunch of little turns this way and that way in the Orlando area to get to the Hyatt Grand Cypress. Took us right to the lobby of the Hyatt Grand Cypress. All automated robotics driving. I just sat there and watched it because it's called full self-driving supervised. So I supervised it by watching it. It made all the turns. I didn't have my hands on the wheel at all. I was ready to grab it, you know. I haven't made a trip like that with full self-driving robotics taking over the driving for me. It was my first trip, Marilyn's first experience. She was in the passenger seat. I was the driver of the car. And it was, kind of amazing. So I told Marilyn, I said, you do one of these road trips up to West Palm Beach, just put the address of where the heck you're going and push full self-driving and have the car drive you there. Why are you resisting this? It's a better driver than you are. And you just sit there just the way I sat, ready to grab the steering wheel if necessary, ready to put your foot on the brake pedal if you need to, or accelerate out of the way of whatever's going on, either way. If it's raining, if it's nighttime, its vision is better than your vision. The night vision camera work on this is a whole lot better than your eyesight. And it knows, it doesn't have to read the signs to figure out where the exit is. It knows where to go because it's got the mapping software incorporated in the full self-driving. So it's using the cameras to make sure it stays on the highway in the right proper lane, and it's linked up with the mapping so it knows exactly where to go. So sit back and enjoy it. That's not the future of driving, that is the now driving of the Tesla vehicles. And every car that Tesla has manufactured and delivered to the buying public, or otherwise retained for its own people, is totally robotic and can self-drive itself anywhere in North America, Canada, all over Europe, and China. Anywhere you can drive this car, it's full self-driving, because it uses the camera systems to keep the vehicle on the road, keep the vehicle within the speed limit, keep the vehicle between the white lines, as they say. Follow the road signs for each jurisdiction as to speed. Well, now Tesla is offering insurance in Florida, and they have a online method of delivering their insurance product to you. And if you use the full self-driving, they will cut the premium by 50%, because the insurance company knows that if you use full self-driving, it's going to do better than the average driver by 700% better. 700% fewer accidents per million miles driven. For all miles driven using full self-driving software rather than you deciding to drive the car yourself. So not only does the full self-driving work for their robo-taxis, it works for every Model S and Model Y car manufactured since March of 2001. We got a Tesla in June of 2001, and they had started with hardware version 4 3 months earlier. They started, and that's why I knew that. That's why I remember the date, by the way. Because we got our car on June 18th, I believe. June 12th. Excuse me. And on March 1st, they started outfitting the cars with hardware version 4, which meant an upgrade to all 7 cameras, an upgrade to the onboard computer, which is 700% fewer accidents per million miles than the average driver. What's not to like with that? Well, the insurance companies love it. No accidents. This guy shouldn't be paying premiums if there's going to be accidents, according to the average human, when the robotics and with your miles driven in your car, it keeps track of how many miles you drive with full self-driving engaged as to it not being engaged. So you can't trick it, because the Tesla computer knows how many miles you've driven with full self-driving and how many miles you have not utilized that feature. So there. Yeah, that's pretty snazzy-wazzy. So I'm going to, this weekend, since it starts a new month, I'm going to try to see if we can activate our insurance, car insurance, switch to the Tesla car insurance and cancel the Progressive insurance. I'm going to give that a shot starting February 1st. Or maybe I'll start it on the anniversary, like the 18th of the month, which is the anniversary date of our lease. It's the 18th. Oops. Hold on a second. Hello?
Hello.
How you doing? You need...
Pretty good. FPNL went through.
Okay.
Finally.
I'll take care of that.
But I'm off today, so I'm just hanging out.
All right.
Yep, alrighty.
Well, if you want to have lunch at Lemongrass, let me know.
Okay, I'm just getting up, so I'll let you.
Yeah. So, if you want to, that's fine. Just let me know.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye. That's number 2 son. You can probably hear that. Came through the speakerphone on my iPad. He's trying out a new job this last couple of weeks, and I'm helping him with some of his billing stuff. Like that P&L charge just went through his account, so I'll transfer money over there from my account to his account, so that he's not doesn't experience any. So he has some cash flow. Okay. Excuse me 1 minute while I take care of this. Okay, so from Daddy's account to poor Brennan's account because we need come on. Done. Nothing to it. Now I do a print screen of the transfer ticket. Put that in my photo album and go to a text message. You get the whole routine here. There's Brennan. Send him a picture of what I just did. Say done. With a green check mark. Oops. There you go. That takes care of that. Sorry for that interruption. All right, let's see. I came across this picture. Actually, I was trying out Gemini. It's a new Microsoft available product, all this AI, artificial intelligence. And I had this picture in my, let's see if I can show you. I don't know why I don't have that. I should have that. Come on. Yeah, go back here. Back. Go to collections. Go to this right here. Oh, yeah, here's where to find it. There it is. There it is up here. Let's duplicate it and see where it goes. Right here. Duplicate. Oh, I put it right back in there. So I'm going to copy it. And go back to, this is probably not the right way to do it. Matter of fact, I don't know if I can do it this way. Here we go. So now you can see on your screen, the left part of your screen. You see Jimmy? That's me. A long time ago in Fort Lauderdale. 1973, 1975. I'm sitting there with a printout. I'm writing a software program in COBOL, and you had to create a stack of cards like that and feed it into the machine and compile the program and see if it'll work. Look, see this big cabinet that stands up on the very, very left side of that picture? It's a 2-drive big cabinet. That's the disk drive. 1,000,003 megabytes per disk. Disk is like 15 inches in diameter. Fit in a special cassette, special plastic thing. It goes like $600 or something. I had a top drive and a bottom drive. Yeah, not something you could put in your briefcase. You could. They had a special Halliburton case to carry the disk drive from one city to another if you were flying. Anyway, so you see that picture. So I asked Gemini, could you take that picture and make it a color picture? Colorize it. And it did. And there's its attempt to make a color picture out of a black and white picture. And there's Jimmy with the skin tones and everything applied to, and they had those green buttons right there, which you push on the, I didn't actually deal with any of these controls up on the top. That was for like a technician. Like if he was going to upgrade the software, he'd open up this right here and put a cassette in there. And then he would, hit the, feed it into memory and all this stuff. And he'd turn this dial from different places to install the software, read the software, troubleshoot the machine, whatever he was doing. They'd come in periodically and service the equipment, part of a service contract you would pay. A couple of $100 a month to make sure. It was a $200,000 installation, $250,000 installation. So I have more computing power in this iPhone than was in that whole installation. 10 times, 100 times more capability than that thing. As hard as that is to believe, but that was, 50 years ago. Yes, sir. 45 years ago, 50 years ago. Anyway, they colorized the picture. And Gemini did it. So Gemini is a Microsoft product. And I just opened up Gemini, downloaded it, opened up Gemini and said, can you colorize this picture for me? And, 10 seconds later, I got a color picture. Where would you like to save it, Mr. Wilson? So I had like 2 or 3 software programs, in my entourage of apps. I deleted them. I said, hey, if Gemini does this, I don't need these 3. Convert a black and white to a color, convert the different file formats into JPEG or whatever file format you want. Yeah, unbelievable. So, not only do we have robotics, for the car, we've got this advanced AI software. This software, all this AI stuff has been around since I've been a coder, back 50 years ago. It's just the media has something to call it now. Artificial intelligence. Well, the artificial intelligence just changed the black and white picture to a color image. That's artificial intelligence, because the software did it instead of me. It did all the controls all by itself. I can do it manually. I could go to Photoshop and change it. But I went to Gemini and let it do it. Artificial intelligence. At the speed of lightning, it did it all by itself. I didn't need to do a thing. Since I talked about Tesla stock, Tesla is down $13.50 a share to $4.16. It's you can kind of see a graph over here. It's not a pretty picture. Do I have a? Sure I do. I can show it to you. Bingo. There you are, down $12 a share. Let's see for the week. Yep. There's the 29th. You see it's a pretty much a straight line down. It's choppy for the month, 3 month. Yeah. Here's year to date. Year to date, it's down $20 a share. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Each quarter, up and down. Yes. I've listened to all kinds of these investment advisory people, and there's a number right here, P/E. See where it says volume 30. I can't reverse it. Split this. Yeah, I can just do a print screen. So I'm doing a print screen of what we're looking at. Save to photos. And then just go to the photos and I'll show you there. There it is. Same thing. Now this is a picture file. It's not the actual stocks app. So you see this number right here? Matter of fact, I'm going to draw pictures. There you go. I will activate the pen. I will outline this in yellow. I don't want to have the pen red. No, we don't want to do that. Let's try yellow. Okay, there we go, yellow. Let's do a finer point pen than that. Okay. Now let's, where's the backspace arm? How come I don't see that backspace? Oh, here it is. That's right there in front of me. There we go. So I'm going to highlight in yellow what I'm talking about. I'm going to draw a circle right around this whole thing right here. Left side. No, we don't want that. Boop. There we go. Got a nice circle right around there. You see where it says P/E? 283. In other words, the stock price is 283 times its forward-looking earnings. So now you see the stock. Now you can see this open, high, low business. There we go. show me another company. NYSE company that's a respectable, that has a 280 PE ratio. That's over 3 times what it should be. So one can interpret, I'm not an investment advisor, but I know a little bit about math. If that PE ratio is 283 when it should be 60, that means the stock is 4 times overpriced. It should be $120 stock. When the earnings come through, fine. Pay the multiple. 60 times earnings. Hold on a bit. Hello?
Hey, hello.
Yeah.
So let's do lunch.
Hello. There we go. This is my son. He wanted to have lunch on Sunday instead of today, and we have a movie date on Sunday. We're going to go to Cinemark and watch the movie documentary called Melania, which that should be fun to see. Like behind the scenes stuff, and it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. They're not going to talk about policy. This is just the life of the Trumps are multi-billionaires way before they had any interest in doing anything about politics. But when you've built major buildings in Manhattan, just think about it. Trump has built major buildings in Manhattan for 30 or 40 years. His father before him built buildings in and around, the whole Manhattan area for his 50 years. So, father to son and his kids now, they have major businesses. Each of these kids are billionaires in themselves. And Trump and Melania are multi-billionaires living that lifestyle, for 20 years at least. So they've, when you have that kind of, that wealth, it makes you part of, the American version of the aristocracy that you see, in England. They have kings and queens. We don't have kings and queens. Our forefathers got out of there because they didn't want kings and queens and disapproved taxation and so forth. So we have a constitution and a form of government. Anyway, so when you're wealthy, real wealthy, that's kind of like our society's version of our aristocracy. Now, these members of this privileged class, if you call them that, they have different political views. Well, that's fine. So this Melania movie it's not a political movie. I don't think. I haven't seen it yet. But it's like behind the scenes to see how Melania interfaces with the President of the United States, if you will. Trump is he's a bull-headed, big, wealthy guy, It's just about everybody, they're not fading hearts sitting in the corner of a room. They're in there, they're at the front of the room. They're doing the talking and the moving and the shaking. They own the companies instead of work for the companies. So this movie, my guess is going to be a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of the campaigning, and how did that work 20 days before the inauguration. I understand we're going to see a lot about Barron Trump, their 20-year-old son, who was just started to go to school at, I don't know whether it's NYU or some Manhattan-based school. And he's, you know, I mean, the kid's 20 years old, he has a net worth of $50 million already. Well, she started off with 10, and he's made 10 million into 50 million. That's not bad for a 20-year-old, you know. Well, he's taking after his dad. You know, he started off with, I think, 50 million, and he's turned it into 50 billion. That's not bad either, 1,000 to 1. Anyway, see that price-earnings ratio, 280? That should be 70. 4 times 7 is 28. So you go, that means the stock, there is a case to be made that a $400 stock is really a $100 stock. If the PE ratio should be 70. I can show you all these other companies. Yeah, let's go back to this. Let's look at Meta. They have all kinds of investments in software and, you know, and what's their price earnings ratio? You see right there, it's 30. Same position on the chart. Google. Unbelievable, huge company. Market cap 3.9 trillion. It's double the size of Tesla. Meta is 1.8 trillion. What's Tesla? 1.4 trillion. Price earnings ratio 280. That's nuts. Nvidia. They got all kinds of chips there, and you know, what's their PE ratio? 46. Meta 30. Amazon 33. Uber doesn't have earnings, so it's a blank. Microsoft 26. IBM 27. AT&T 8. Goldman Sachs 18. I mean, it's totally different industries. Bank of America, huge bank, 13. That's what I'm used to seeing because I used to be in the banking business. BKU, Bank United, 13. There you go. So, Tesla's getting away with a 285 times PE ratio. No, show me the earnings. You know, oh yeah, you got all kinds. Hey, I believe all the stories, but I'm not gonna buy the stock for an earnings that are gonna happen 2 years from now. Two and a half years from now, you show me, you know, a year and a half from now, and talk about all this fancy earnings. And then, you know, then you can start attracting in new investors. But, you know, they got a cadre of investors, retail people that keep buying the stock when it drops like this. You know, just a little bit, pushes the stock right back up. That's fine. They keep the stock price high. It's overpriced in my book. I don't have money to invest in it anyway. But show me another company. Any company on the NYSE that's a reputable company that has a PE ratio of 285. Show me those companies. Let's look at them. Let's compare them to Tesla and see what's going on. I don't think that's the right I don't think that's a fair number. And there are a lot of these people that I listen to on their podcasts, not advising anybody, but just commenting, as a talking head, just like I'm a talking head. Look at that, $283. That's today. Price at $4.17 a share, way overpriced. By at least a double, and that'd be 140 times earnings. It doesn't have the earnings to justify that stock price, That's all I can say. That's what I can say. Anyway, so we colorize that image. That's interesting, huh? I think it's very interesting. Favorites, there we go. So they discontinued 2 models. They are making money. You take a tour. You can Google it. You can go on YouTube and do a search for, a tour of Tesla factory. And there's a YouTube, 30-minute clip or 45-minute clip of a guided tour by Elon Musk himself. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's fantastic. There's nothing like it. You go into a Ford factory or GM factory, the buildings are all dirty and dingy, and the floor hasn't been cleaned, and all kinds of oil and grease and dirt and just ground into the cement. Elon and his field, all the floors newly painted gray, even though they took over a building that was a General Motors plant. They completely gutted the place, scraped the floor clean, painted it gray or white, painted all the walls all around the building white. The ceilings, they sprayed all that with white paint, painted all the pipes, cut like 16 holes in the roof of the ceiling and put in skylights so it brightened up the place. And then installed all their robotics. And the robots are basically building, you got 400 robots building the car. I don't know how many robots, but I think they used to have 600 robots and now it's down to 400. They've improved a prototype of a product that looks beautiful. And then now you're trying to figure out how to manufacture that car to full scale. You want to build 13 million of these cars. You're going to scale up to 1 million cars a month. Then show me the assembly line that's going to produce 1 million cars a month. Same thing with their robotics. They're going to build all these humanoid robots. So I'm going to sell millions of them. Well, fine. When you start selling them, you should be that should be earnings. Show me the money. But for some reason or other, retail investors bid this stock price up to a price that makes it very difficult for other people to invest with them. If I was sitting on $10-20 million worth of a portfolio, I'd probably have a few shares of that for posterity. A year ago or so, the stock price was 110 or something. It's not worth $400 today. I hear all the stories of what they're going to do. Well, fine, do it. And there are 2 guys right here that would not be happy interviewing me. Yeah. I believe them. But you shouldn't be asking the public for a stock price that's at least 300% overpriced. There's a case to be made that the stock should be trading at 150 a share, not 400. Let me tell you what it is. It's the PE ratio. It's not 250, it's 3 something, or it's 280, or I mean, that's too much. That's, the stock price is, what? 422. It's down $8 a share. Up 6, down 8. Yep, there it is. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's go here. So this is Thursday. Remember Mega Millions. This is I'm following Mega Millions. You gotta follow something. So here's Mega Millions jackpot. This is a spreadsheet that Jimmy put together. I'm the author of the spreadsheet. If you think there's something wrong with it, let me know. Mega Millions, this is the date. Tuesday, Friday. So the next one is January 30, which is Friday. Okay? Saturday is the 31st, and Sunday is the 1st of February. Anyway, the January 30, Friday, Mega Millions. Line 17 there on my little chart. Right there, line 17. This is a spreadsheet, but this is a print screen of a spreadsheet, so I can turn it upside down and not affect the real spreadsheet, which is, it's getting complicated, so I even put a little statement down here. The statistics and calculations are estimates by the author. They are not obligations or agreed to by the lottery. The only thing the lottery can opine to on here is that they believe that they have an estimate of a jackpot to a single winner, although they don't guarantee it, of $303 million. It could be slightly less than that, could be slightly more than that, but they guess it at $303 million. So so it's a rollover, meaning Tuesday's Mega Million, a couple of days ago, this is Thursday, was projected to be $285 million. Well, it didn't happen. No one won it. So this drawing of 4, 20, 38, 56, 66 with a Mega Million ball 5, no one hit it. I hit a $20 and a $21. So I had, 2 slips, got 20 on one and 21 on the other. If you got all these 5 numbers when it rolls, I don't know, I've never heard of anybody going after somebody and smacking them if their head was dirty. What the hell's going on here? Yeah. Anyway, it rolled over. It's 303. The jackpot lump sum before any taxes. If you live in a state where you have a state income tax, they may have a provision for lottery winnings. Florida has no income tax. So They don't take a piece of the 138 million, I don't believe. So, but the Fed does. So they're going to withhold. They're going to give you. They're going to take 24% of 138 million, and they're going to leave you with 105 million this year. There it is, 105 million. Okay. Top of the column caption. What is that? The jackpot lump sum payout after the federal withholding tax of 24%. So they take a 24% of your holdings right off the top. Now, if you have a lot of tax write-offs, like depreciation or something, or you want to apply it into the lottery winnings, you can do that. So 105 million is the grand prize jackpot lump sum less the 24% withholding. That's how you get the 105,260,000. The next column says 87,255,000. What's that? That's after all Fed tax. So in other words, you agree to the lump sum, 138 million, they're going to take away 37% of that, because that's the maximum tax bracket. And I would assume that if you made 138 million this year, because if you were the lump sum winner, that goes into ordinary income. So unless you had some extraordinary expenses that could be applied against that, then you'd be subject to the full 37% tax. And that would shrink that 138 million to 87,255,000. Oh, poor baby. 87 million, yeah. So that would make, so your first payment, if you elected to do the annuity, would be 4.5 million, 4.560. They got my clothes on a crayon in there. Well, here's money. This is positive money. Yeah. So if you want the annuity, they're going to give you a check. You sign some paperwork, and you turn in your ticket, and they're going to give you 4.56 million, in my best estimation. Estimated by the author of this spreadsheet, which is yours truly. That's the first payment. You see that payment? That's 5% over that. So if you decided to take the 29 payment annuity, your first, it's one payment immediately and then 29 future annual payments. The first payment is 4,560,000. Second payment is 4,788,000. Keeps growing. What do they call that? They call that a 5% growing annuity. Yeah. most of your older people like myself would go with the lump sum, not the annuity. Yeah, I'll settle for that 87,255,000 number. That's after all Fed taxes. There are no Florida state taxes, so that would go right in the checkbook. That's some fantastic checkbook. So if you peeled off, let's see, you got 80 million, right? So let's take 27 million off of that. That means you got 60 million left over. Take 27 million, put it in the side pocket. Now you got 60 million left over. Give each kid $5 million. That's 20 million. So that 60 comes down to 40. And then you got 10 relatives. Give them each $1 million. That takes off another 10 million. So that 40 becomes 30. All right, so you take that 30 million, and guess what you do? You just put it in a savings account. 30 million. I mean, when these numbers get big like this, it's crazy. Times 0.04. 4% interest on a money market. You can get that at Truist Bank right now. That's $1.2 million a year in interest. That's a... Phew. $30 million times 0.04 equals. Yep. Divide that by 12. There you go. You make $100,000 a month in interest. It's hard to spend $100,000 a month. You know, just going out to dinners and lunches and cruises and all that kind of stuff. And remember I said put 27 million over in the side pocket? Well, that's like if you wanted to, you know, buy yourself a nice condo. Remember, this is after tax money. Yeah, you don't pay taxes. You already paid taxes. You got the 87 million in cash Rooney. Give everybody 5 million. You give all the other relatives $1 million. You can give them 2 million. That's another 20 million down. So you got 20 million. So, you know, the secondary relatives, you know, get 2 million apiece. The children, 4 children, they get 5 million apiece. 5 times 4 is 20. You got the secondary relatives, give them each 2 million. 2 times 10, that's 20. So that's 40 million out the window. I mean, not out, you know what I'm saying. So now we're down to 47 million. Take 27 million, 47 million. So you take 27 million, put that in a side pocket to buy stuff. Oh no, you put the 27 million in the savings account. So you make that $100,000 a month expense bill, you know. And then the other 20 million you use to buy yourself, you know, a couple of residential dwelling units. Let's say in 3 cities. You know, one up in, you know, maybe a nice place up in, you know, the North Shore of Long Island, for example, where I grew up. Or, you know, up in Boston somewhere, maybe something like that. One in Boca Raton, and maybe one over in Dallas, Texas, maybe. Or if California gets cleaned up because it's a frickin' mess, you know, maybe a nice place up in like Napa Valley. You know, that hasn't been destroyed by the homeless. I tell you, their governor is not done a very good job for its citizens. You got to figure out where you don't want it. You don't want to be in Southern California, with needles and homeless and people urinating in the street. God. Phew. We visited California before all that started. And Governor Newsom isn't doing anything about it. I don't get it. But I don't have to get it. So that would be, that's how you figure out, when you make that kind of money. You need to take $5 million off and give it to charity. Take that $5 million, put it in another 4% savings account, and keep feeding the charities every year the interest off that money. Keep the principal, give them the interest. Yeah. That's serious money. What the heck? You think they're going to say no? Everyone's going to be all over you to try to get some of your money, right? And so that's just the way of the wind. So let's say you put $5 million in a side pocket times 0.04 equals $200,000 a year. So divide that into 4 pieces and come up with 4 charities and give them $50,000 a year as a charitable donation. Keep your principal, give them the interest. Yeah. So, you got the Children's Hospital, you got the Tunnel for Towers people, give them $50,000 a year. I want to meet up with them, Siller, and give them an agreement that for the next calendar year you're going to get $50,000. You want that every month? Divided by 12. You get $4,000 a month. Interest. That's not bad. Divide that by 11. They want everyone to do $11. That's like 387 people giving you $11 a month. I'm one person. I'm going to give you 400 times that. What the heck? That ain't bad. You can help out a lot of disabled veterans with some nice residential, the kinds of things that you do. That's his life's work ever since he lost his brother 20 years ago when World Trade Centers got attacked by some crazy goddamn Arabs and flew jetliners full of people into each of the 2 World Trade Centers, and the fire that was in there made the buildings collapse. Terrible. But that's what they did. Because, we are helping the Jews and the Arabs hate the Jews. It's been going on for 1,000 years. It's biblical stuff. Yeah. Uh-oh. Waymo robotaxi hits a child near an elementary school in Santa Monica, California. That's breaking news. Waymo robotaxi hits a child near an elementary school in Santa Monica. Happened on the 23rd, 6 days ago. This is Waymo holds the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration told the NHTSA that the child whose age and identity are not currently public sustained minor injuries. All right, didn't roll over him. Just bumped into his kneecap or something. The NHTSA has opened up an investigation into the accident. Yeah, that's something that Tesla does not want to, some stupid kid running out in front of a Waymo. That's probably what happened there. Or Waymo just ran the kid down. Waymo said its robotaxi struck the child at 6 miles an hour after braking hard from around 17 miles an hour. The young pedestrian suddenly entered the roadway from behind a tall SUV, moving directly into the vehicle's path. The company said in a blog post. Waymo said its vehicle immediately detected the individual as soon as they began to emerge from behind the stopped vehicle. Yep. No blood was drawn on that one. Kid got up right away. They reported it to the NHTSA, and they opened up an investigation. Kid was hit at 6 miles an hour. He, runs between two cars and bam, ends up in front of a vehicle. If it was driven by a regular person, they probably would have flattened the kid. But these computers can react very, very fast. He said it was a hard break. And no hospitalization, no nothing. So, you get all this stuff that's added to existing vehicles. Because Waymo doesn't make the car. The cars are made by someone else. And Waymo buys the car and then installs all this other equipment, like all this stuff on top. Inside of the Tesla, it's all built into the car. You would never even know that it was self-driving if it wasn't for me telling you. Yeah. I'm just paging through what's going on in the world of... Let's go back. See anything new? The race is against the clock. Oops, cancel that. There we go. Oops. Turn perplexity. There you go. Melania Trump's word take on her husband Donald Trump stuns critics online. Who knows what that one word is? Plucked out of a conversation. These media types aren't necessarily friendly. Amy Klobuchar launches a bid for Minnesota governor. Because the existing governor decided he ain't running for re-election. With all this stuff going on, he can't control his own citizenry. We're looking through headline news here. do a print screen on a couple of these. I've already got this one. I already got this one. There you go. Microsoft just upgraded its Copilot called Gemini. or that's Google's. Yeah. Gemini. There you go. There's some robots. Don't look as nice as... There you go. Perplexity. I'll have to look that up and see what's up with that. All right, sports fans. I think we've had enough for today. I showed you all about that. I showed you, this right here. That's it. That's the latest one. 303 million is the estimated rollover. You either get 4,500 hours, growing to like 18 million over 30 payments, 29 years in one day. You take the lump sum of 87,255,000, put it right in your checkbook. Give the government 37%, and that's that. Then you have to figure out who you're going to give your money to. If anyone. Yeah. give each kid $5 million and say, here it is. You want some help? Get yourself a financial advisor. You don't know any? Here's a good one. And then they can take that money and say, okay, I'll put $3 million of that $5 million in my side pocket. And 3 times 4 is 12. They make $120,000 a year in interest. And then the other $2 million, you know, you buy yourself a car and buy yourself a nice apartment somewhere. Then you can live off the $120,000 worth of interest. You don't have any other bills. You won't have any other bills. Pay off all your bills. You got no bills. You just got a tax bill, an insurance bill, and, you know, insurance on the car, insurance on the condo. I'm just making that up. And your electricity bill, utilities, you know. Water, sewer, electric. And have a happy life. You got no loan on your apartment. You got $3 million you don't want to touch because that's your interest income. You know, you could probably put it in a slightly different investment and make, you know, 5 or 6% a year. You know, so it'd be $180,000 worth of yield. Whatever. That's how you do it. You can maybe take some of that $3 million and make some very prudent investments. Stress prudent. All right. With that advice, I'm out of advice. And it's 11:52. It's time for you guys to. You've had coffee with Jimmy since for 2 hours, from 9 to 11:50. So I've been yakking here for, you can see right here, this is elapsed time, 2 hours and 14 and a half minutes. Here's the time, 11:42 and 45 seconds. That is accurate time right there, let me tell you. That, which is in green. Yeah. This right here is in white. I can't change the color of this one. I can just change the intensity here with, you know, with the use of the Apple operating system. There you go. How's Tesla doing? Dow Jones is down 132 and Tesla is down $10.38. You can see the graph. It's for the week. It's down $25 for the week, down $10 for the day. You all right, sports fans? Oops. So what I do is I come to here. It's January 29, right? So I'm going to say goodbye. I should have Epidemic Sound Instrumental as the background music, like you're in the dentist's office. Except I'm not drilling on you. Yeah. Yesterday, Epidemic didn't come through in the second channel for some reason. I'm going to play this back to myself to make sure we have Epidemic here. Should be. It should be right there. And we're going to wish you a very nice end of your day. And I'll give you 45, I'll give you a minute of the epidemic. See how beautiful this sounds. You can do it yourself. YouTube Music, Epidemic Sound Instrumental, without copyright.